Welcome everyone. We will be talking about the framework of project management. Remember, in this videos we will understand how a project management is structured and executed via a specific framework. So let us begin with the characteristics of project. Now we all understand a project can be anything. It can be establishment of a hospital, it can be building of an hospital, or it can be just an assignment that has been assigned to you in your academic session. So essentially projects are unique. They are one off sessions because it doesn't get repeated more often. So projects are temporary in nature. Whenever I say temporary, they have I what I mean is they have a definite start time and an end time as such. And believe me or not, if projects are unique, if projects are temporary, so that means projects have a goal, an objective to be accomplished. And the moment it has been accomplished, it's no longer viable or no longer in existence. So, what are the operational works that we go around it? Operational works are quite opposite in nature in projects. Let's say operation works are repetitive, are an ongoing things, and probably without the operation work going around it, the functions of an organization cease to exist. So it is basically continuous work without any ending time, without any end in the sight. And you often, more often than not, often repeat the same process and produce the same result thereby. So project management, how do we go across with it? Is to keep an organization functional when while the purpose of the project is to meet its goal. Absolutely, yes. The operation wise project needs to be taken into consideration. It needs to be well oiled machinery, and basically it continues until and unless the project actually culminates into its goal. So at the completion of the project, let's say the end of the project, may get turned over to organizational operational areas for ongoing care and maintenance, as in if it was a building of an hospital. So basically I've built up an hospital, all the civil work has been done, and now it has to be handed over as to the maintenance and running of the hospital. There will be a definite different kind of team which is going to manage that building thereby. For as a project, my project was to build an hospital, somebody else's project would be to run the hospital per se. So, what is project management? Project management is an application of knowledge, skills, tools, and technique to meet the requirements. So, we need to have the prerequisite knowledge, the prerequisite skills, the tools, the technique. It is the responsibility of project managers to ensure that the project management techniques are applied and probably are followed. Portfolio. Let us understand portfolios are collection of programs or project groups together to support a strategic business goal. The programs are related to help achieve that common goal. So what is program? Programs are groups of related projects that are managed using similar techniques in a coordinated fashion. When projects are managed collectively as programs, it is possible to capitalize on the gains, on the benefits, on the fact that we have achieved the requisite goals that we have set for ourselves. And it can be done separately too. A project may or may not be a part of a program, but a program is always an integral part of a project. This is what we need to understand. So a series of program will lead to a project, but a project may be a program individually. Yes, probably. Once, let's say, let us continue with the similar example of building up an hospital. So once the hospital has been built, for the larger sect, this becomes a program because building was only civil construction, but the whole project management would be also not only setting up the hospital but running of the hospital. So in one case the program becomes a project, but in the whole case all programs are part of the project. I hope it clarifies it to you, right? So yes, one was civil construction, then was the management part of it, then was the diagnosis, continuous operation of the hospital thereby. So yes, this is how it has been depicted. Now, if you look into it, if I say this was building of of the hospitals as in the projects, and the program was to run the hospital or super specialty hospital up to here. Now this will be a large part of your portfolio. We might have a hotels as another project where we might have a sub projects which might be a resort house hotel, we might have a five-star hotel, we might have a boutique hotel as such. So that is what would be remembering as so what is a sub project? Projects are frequently divided into much more smaller component and manageable one. Sub projects are often contracted to an external enterprise or to another functional units in performing organization. Sub-projects can be referred to as projects and managed as such. So what is Project Management Office? The Project Management Office is an organizational body or entity assigned to oversee the management of projects and programs throughout the organization, and that is what we are inkling towards. So primary functions, PMO is Project Management Office. Primary functions of PMO is to support the project managers in a number of ways, which may include but probably may not be exclusive to, as in managing shared resources. Now what is shared resources? Finance being one, expertise or technical abilities being one, certain equipments per se being one, identifying and developing project management methodology, practices and standards as on when on basis is what we are looking forward to. Of course, coaching, mentoring, training, and oversight is an integral part which can be shared. Monitoring compliances with project management standard, policies, procedures, templates via project audits. Developing and managing projects, policies, procedures, template, and so on. And definitely the coordination that needs to be carried on for the completion of the project. Let us understand the organization structure. Just as the projects are unique, so are the organization which they are carried out. Organizations have their own styles, probably their own cultures that influences how a project works or is performed. One of the keys to determining the different types of organization you work in is in measuring much authority to the senior management, is willing to delegate to the project managers as often as possible. Now let us understand the types. Let's say the organization can be functional oriented, can be projectized as in individual programs, can be made as an individual projects, and it can be matrix in structure wherein a number of projects can be running simultaneously and there might be a shared resources as on when on required basis. So yes, it can be functional, it can be projectized and matrix organizations. So let us understand one by one each of these functional, projectized and matrix organization. Let's begin with functional organization. The most common type of an organization is functional organization, probably the oldest one also. And that is why we call it the traditional approach to organizing business. Functional organizations are centered on specialities and grouped by function, which is why it is called functional organization. As an example, organizations might have a human resource department, finance department, marketing department, and these are basically categorizing it as a functional department. Here in the depiction of the picture that comes around it, if you look into the chief executive officers is looking into or being the chief executive officer has been reported by three functional managers, and each functional can be ever since differently. It can be project A, project B, project C. It can be finance, marketing, and operations or civil, and then there are staffs around it. So gray boxes is what we are looking as a project staff. And projectized organization, before I go move to the matrix organization, let me understand or clarify to the audience of this particular video that in this type of organizations, the resources are solely and wholly dedicated to projects. Projects works only and nothing else. Project manager almost have an ultimate authority. They are the supreme authority over the projects. Let's say we are trying to build up a metro railway, which is underneath or underground. So it can be a completely at their perils. We can build metro railway under a river or even under a sea, for example. So it becomes very specialized, right? So project managers wields ultimate power. In purely projectized organizations, supporting functions such as human resources accounting might report directly to the project managers as well. Project managers are responsible for making decisions regarding the projects and acquiring and assigning resources. They have the authority to choose and assign resources from other areas in the organization or to hire them from outside as on when on basis. This is the pictographical representation of projectized organization. Did I say the chief executive officers and the various projects which can be project coordination, and they can be wholly absolutely dedicated to a project. Until in the previous one, in the functional organization, if you remember it, the gray areas, the staff areas, some people were shared, some people were exclusive. But in this case, gray boxes of the staff engagement are completely exclusive to what a particular projects per se. Let us move to the matrix organization. This form is an attempt to maximize the strength of both the functional and the projectized form. Team members report to more than two bosses, often, if not two bosses, the project managers and the functional managers. Perhaps the minimum will be two bosses. Communication goes from team member to the bosses. It is the other way around, not from the bosses to the team members, but from the other way around. And accordingly, the team bosses are going to coordinate among themselves. Team member does the project works in addition to the existence normal departmental work. In a strong matrix, power rests with the project managers. In a weak matrix, power rests with the functional managers. The power is comparable to that of the coordinator or expeditor. In a balanced matrix, the power is shared between the functional managers and the project managers thereby. Here is a pictographical representation of the matrix organization. We have the chief executive officer, the general manager, or the director general, as you want to go around it. Now, we can have project managers on site that comes around it. It can be A, B, and C, and then we have different functionalities as far as designing, estimating, purchasing, and every crossroad of a staff who've been working around is are part of the matrix organization, because he or she, whoever is manning this particular position or any particular position, would report to the functional organization as well as the project managers. And that is what is the beauty of the matrix organization is all about it. Let us understand what exactly might be matrix organization in terms of advantages and disadvantages. Let's say the project manager titles in a weak matrix would be coordinator or leader or expeditor. In a balanced matrix, the manager. In a strong matrix, again the project manager. The project manager's focus in a weak matrix is split between functional and project. They are not very clear about what is to be done, who is to get the precedence. But in balanced matrix, project and project work only, which is true with the strong matrix also. The power of the project managers, probably it becomes very minimal or they become subdued to the functional managers. But in case of balanced organization, it is a balance between the functional and the project managers. So they need to speak up, they need to coordinate, they need to communicate, they need to iron out any issues if there are any. But in strong matrix organization, the project managers as the last say. The buck stops at the table of the project managers. They have the complete authority. The time of the project managers is divided in between projects and the functional in a weak matrix. But in balanced matrix, full time on the projects, definitely similarly on a strong matrix. Organization style. In a weak matrix organization is mostly predominantly functional style that has been got. In a balanced matrix, often, more often than not, it has been seen the person wielding the position who is going to have the power. So probably we will be talking about blend between weak and strong, but it is essentially the person occupying the position that comes around it. Strong matrix organization is most likely the projectized organization. Project management reports to the functional managers in a weak matrix. In fact, in a balanced matrix, the functional managers and the project management shares the authority. But in strong matrix organizations, managers of the project managers actually take report from everyone else altogether. So let us understand the project expeditors and the coordinator. Project expeditors acts primarily as the staff assistant and communication coordinator. Expeditor cannot personally make or probably enforce decision. Project coordinators, on the other hand, this position is similar to the project expeditors, except that the coordinator has some power to make decision, have some amount of authority, and reports to a higher ups in the organization. So let us clarify now stakeholders of project management. So who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders are persons. Stakeholders are organizations who are actively involved in projects and whose interest may be positively or negatively impact the performance or the completion of the project. So they have the vital parts, integral part of the project managers. Stakeholders have varying level of responsibilities and authority and can change over project life cycle. Project team managers must continuously identify both external and internal stakeholders. Project managers must manage the influences of various stakeholders in relations to the requirements and the balanced stakeholders' interest thereof. Now, this is what we should be looking into it. Here, I'm giving you a pictographical representation of what all stakeholders are there. So, if you look into it, there are a portfolio managers as a stakeholder, the program managers, the project managers, offices are the stakeholder. Remember, we are talking only about the project, but on the other side, if this becomes the internal part of the company, there would be operation management, functional managers, sellers, resellers, retailers, customers, users becomes another part segment of the project stakeholders, because without them the project is not deemed to be successful. Whereas the people who are putting in the money, the capital, the resources are the project management team, the project managers, the over other project management team members is what we are looking into it as far as sponsors are concerned. Now, with this, there's a completion of the project. Otherwise, the project does not see the light of the day. So let me wind up with stating the enterprise environmental factors. Thereby, we need to understand we are looking both at the internal environment and at an external environment. Remember, both of them has equal authority to surround or influence the success of the project. As an input in almost all project managers may enhance or probably even constrain project managers management options. So they have both positive and negative influences on the outcome. Example, organization cultures, organization structures, organization processes, the government, the industry standards, the infrastructure, existing qualities of HRs, personal administration, company work authorization payment, marketplace conditions, stakeholder risk tolerance, political climate, organization established communication channel, commercial databases, and project managers information. Now these have been glorifying example of the environmental factors that actually impact the performance of the project, whether they have a positive outcomes or otherwise. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. I hope everything is clear as far as what project managers management outcomes is all about it. What are the framework that we have discussed around today? Thank you once again for watching this video till the end.